He's come out so many times here for Prime, almost every single time. I think maybe even every single time.
Yeah,
and
he's played 17 matches in total.
Yeah,
he's played by far the most games on his team. He's 3-3 against Terran. He's taken some really solid wins. You know, he's had some rough matches against the Terrans as well, but he's played a little bit less predictably this round, and I really like to see that. Definitely the player who's brought Prime back to a little bit more relevancy this season. And, of course, TY, this man looks a little bit weaker this round. He's definitely not the invincible, the invulnerable Terran versus Protoss player that we saw in round 1. He's 5-2 against Protoss now. He's arguably in a bit of a slump. His last match he played was also against a Protoss player. He tried to do a Hellion drop, did not do enough damage, got counterattacked with Blink Stalkers, and ended up dying. So,
it's hard to say with a player like this who's been so successful in all of Pro League so far, if he's like coming down so much. Like you said, he's just kind of in a little bit of a slump, and we're going to have to see how he plays today against this guy.
For some reason, we didn't have our winner predictions up, but I'll tell you guys right now, I predicted TY. You guys, predicted Creator. You guys are going to have to wait and see what happens on the King Sejong station. The map is loaded. Let's jump into game number 1 between Prime and KT Rolster.
Up here in the top left, in the purple for Prime, the Protoss player. They put a lot of their games on the back of this guy. Comes out again today, face off against a big opponent down here. He's Creator. Yep.
And, of course, for KT Rolster, we have TY down the bottom right in red. I really feel like the game that we saw from him just, you know, a few days past was a bit of a fluke game where he went for a weird strategy he didn't really have to do, and it cost him the game. Run into a lot of, you know, unfortunate circumstances in the game, luck-wise. Went for a strategy that I personally feel is not very strong in Heart of the Swarm, and he got punished for it. But I feel like if he plays in his normal form today, he's favored here, I would say. But I think it's a really tough map to call, the hardest one that we have scheduled today.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, part of the reason I chose Creator as my pick is because TY is on the slump. And Creator, you know, he has so much pressure on him, but he's been coming out time and again, and he's been proving himself time and time again. And I think, you know, if he has his wits about him, he can definitely take a game off of a guy like TY. We're going to have to see. Here he comes with his first probe down the middle. He's going to go for Scout.
Yeah, just wants to identify what's going on. That's going to be the same thing going on for TY. Once he gets that first Reaper out, wants to poke in, find the pylons, identify the tech if he can, and you know, respond accordingly. TY normally knows a very reactionary defensive player, hits strong mid-game timings, but can oftentimes proxy. We've seen it before, just this week. So, the wall to probe in here, perhaps? No. Decides not to. Core goes down at home.
Yeah, and there's the first Reaper you're talking about. It's going to come out, get across the map pretty easily. On a map like this, where it's a pretty long rush distance, to have a Reaper that can jump up and down the ledges is pretty nice. You can just go over there to the left side of the map, or left side of the base, I should say, of the Protoss, and just jump up into the main. Yeah. Get a good scout down.
Get scout down, get it in, get it up, pop it in.
Pop it out.
Pop it in, pop it out.
Start doing a dance.
Doing that cliff jump. There's combat drugs kicking in.
I don't know, man. We should go to the club and do the cliff jump later on.
You know, I had a dream last night, actually, that you and I were forced to join the military as paratroopers.
What?
Yeah, and actually, like, you were not scared at all. But I was terrified, man. I did not want to jump out of that plane.
Oh, no. I would be so terrified. Why in my dream would you assume that I would not be scared?
But actually what happened, Lo, was when you went first, for some reason they put like a GoPro on your head. And I got to watch what it looked like. And it looked so cool that then I got excited and it was okay. And it was just a test run. We weren't like actually jumping into enemy lines. But it was,
oh, yeah.
It was an interesting dream. I didn't tell you that yet. But that's what happened in my dream last night.
Well, I had some weird dreams as well, but they're pretty weird. I'm not going to get into it right now.
Okay.
It was strange, to say the least.
Well, we have a really fast +1 here, and it's going to run into a Stargate-oriented play. This is not like Creator at all to go for Stargate aggression.
Yeah, very interesting. Maybe on this map, you know, it's a pretty long rest instance. Maybe he wants to get that air unit across the map as fast as possible, get some harass done. I would assume Oracle's here.
Yeah, Oracle's the only thing that would make as much sense as, you know, as seeing a Stargate come out of Creator does make. It sees the Reaper, that Stargate. I guess I should say he sees, as the gender is, you know, specific in this case.
Interesting, he placed a Stargate right next to that little cliff that the Reaper's able to jump up.
It's pretty hard to hide it, you know, if you're not going to proxy it.
Yeah.
And it is Oracle's. Now with the fast +1, he's of course going to be able to pop turrets out, you know, like daisies in spring, and get those up and block the attack.
He's going to be able to pop them out just as fast as the Reaper pops into the base.
Yeah, even, you know, almost as fast, yeah, I would say. He's going to pop up twice. Turret takes a little bit longer than that. I don't know if I would really say like that fast, Brendan, but yeah, pretty fast.
Well, it's pretty fast.
And there they go, the first one. Now, it looks like Creator's just going to make one Oracle. Now, if he doesn't lose it, it's worth it. Because even if he doesn't get a single kill, it will give vision. It's going to be able to reveal. It's going to give detection later. It's just a useful unit all around. He can use the Stargate later if he wants to. But if he loses it, even if he gets like 3 kills, then it's not worth it. So we'll see. Let's see how much damage he gets done here. The turret's already in place. Should be able to get 1 SCV build in the depot, maybe?
Yep, does get exactly that. Is going to be chased out. Just loses 12 health. And very nice job by TY. He has no turret here at the natural, but he had a bunch of Marines waiting there. Just 6 of those, and he had a bunch over his production as well, which is very nice. Something Creator could have done is gone in and possibly picked off Marines coming out of the barracks, but TY knew that was a possibility. Kept some units there.
Twilight Council goes up, starts charge. Ooh. Creator Prime, Charge Zealot, Archon, +2 armor, maybe. Some sort of timing like that we've seen from him in Wings of Liberty. That Reaper. Ooh, is he going to get away? No.
No, and that's 3 kills on that Oracle, and he stays alive. So, has been worth it so far, like you mentioned. TY is going to make an extra turret here just to be safer. Oh,
yeah.
turns its head.
Turret saw. He saw what was coming.
Yeah.
That's like a... I think this defense mechanism the turret has to scare the Oracle away.
Oh, just barely gets away. 15 health on this Oracle. And there's the Templar Archives coming out, as you mentioned as well.
Yeah. He's cut probe production temporarily too, adding some gates now. First one being added. Ooh, slows down the starport. That's actually a pretty nice pick off there.
Very nice micro so far out of Creator. You know, he almost lost it over that group of Marines earlier, but so far getting 4 kills. It's pretty good. Doesn't want to fly it over this, though.
Oh, no.
I spoke too soon.
Calm down, Brennan.
Okay.
Hold your horses.
Well, storm on the way. 3 extra gates being added. Probes still being cut. Stopped at exactly 46. Charge is about to finish.
He was so excited to get that Oracle. He didn't know it was fake. The Marine, that is. I'm sure TY was very aware it was fake. Well, this is not what I expected. He's actually just gonna beat Creator Prime here for a second. Play extremely safe. Feedbacks go down, then he makes the Archon. Charge Zealots with better upgrades here are going to tear through almost pure Marines. Needs to be careful with his sentries, and actually now might want to consider swinging those Zealots back around. But that Archon here, he's going to easily clean this up, and TY is actually regretting moving out into this army right now.
Yeah. TY actually didn't attack once the +1 to armor was finished. It just finished right now. Maybe would have done a little bit better if that was up.
Yep, +2 attack coming out right away, though. And Storm is nearly completed, so he can add a few additional Templar. He's getting that 3rd base, but all the while, you know, keeping his probe count a little bit low this whole time. Now finally restarting it. And, you know, with the additional probes coming out, you can, you know, get that 3rd base up saturated, but this gave TY a huge amount of time in income-wise where he was ahead in mineral mining because of those mules. So the trade-off is that Creator has better tech, and he has upgrades coming out that he can continue to chrono boost. He has those Archons, the Templar with Storm, and he can add a robotic support bay whenever he has the economy to do so, which is going to be soon with that 3rd base coming up. Those Zealots are like having
Zealots are a bit
thoughts.
earlier. a bit early, rather. Coming in and trying to scout that third base. Doesn't see it going down, but backs off. This Zealot is going to scout this army moving out.
Those Zealots are taking a don't ask, don't tell approach to that third base. They're just going to hang out over there.
They're not going to go.
They could actually deny it, but they just don't know it's there.
Yeah. Another Zealot scouting, doing a good job, even though he has those 2 observers right over the army.
All right, here we go. Those Zealots are actually just like taking a look at like.
He's sending one at a time. Look at this. He's being so careful with this. That's pretty cool.
Big Doom Drop coming in. Is he going to pick that up? Nah, he wants to keep vision, of course. Scan goes down here. He sees a lack of an army.
You know, he might suspect something like this. He sees very little here at the front, and he's had very good vision so far. He has 2 of these High Templar here. He's got to get the feedbacks. Gets a couple, but none of them go down. A Storm gets 2 of the Medivacs, actually. Morphs it right into an Archon. Those Widowmines, though, could do some damage. Get a bunch of probes.
Yeah, they do. And Widowmine actually hits the Mothership Core, putting it down to 9 hit points. Marauders can't shoot up, though. So the Mothership Core will survive for now. Boosting 2. Considered boosting 2 Medivacs into the main base, sees the units there and pulls back. Now, Creator has continued to deny this third base. It looks like he may get it. Oh, he finishes it. But still, there's no mining here. He killed the SCV. He's going to start to damage this. He's got double upgrades coming up right now. And I like his position quite a lot. Now, +3 is on the way for TY, so he is keeping his upgrades fairly close by, but he doesn't have any ghosts yet. He doesn't have any answer for these High Templar, and his Widowmine count is getting higher. But still, he's going to want something more here as soon as he can afford it on those 3 bases.
Yeah, he doesn't really have an answer for the High Templar like you mentioned, but he also doesn't really have an answer for the Colossi that are coming out right now as well. Look at this. Is he going to have an answer for this backdrop here? He's going to come in with these 4 Zealots, has a bunch of gateways to warp in even more. Nice drop in so far. Wants to come over the production and now warp in a bunch more. There's 1 Zealot.
Yeah, forcing a huge stim and run back by some of these Bioforces. He already makes the trade worth it by killing those Marauders and Marines. He can save some of these Zealots, perhaps. Gets a feedback off and then flies away here. Actually looks like he's going to even save that High Templar so he can come back later with a Storm Drop. No units here in the main base, though. There's the overcharge, and here come the Zealots, so he's not going to pick up any tech. We'll maybe get a Zealot or 2 with these Widowmines. Yep, that's all he's going to get, but...
yeah, not much damage done. I have to say Creator's drops so far and his play so far have been a lot more worth it.
Yeah, for sure. These 2 Widowmines are going to continue to be annoying, and in fact, he's targeting the Mothership Core, it looks like. As you guys can see, there's no detection over here. Has 2 observers on the map, but none nearby, and I'm not even sure if he realizes that he's up against Widowmines there in the main base. So we'll see what happens in just a few seconds when those get off cooldown. Now, this push that comes out over here still has a lot of Widowmines in it to support, but I like the tech so much more here for Creator with the Storms, with 2 Colossi out now. Widowmines here actually looks like don't get a ton of damage done, but he still is able to kill that Mothership Core.
Yeah, gets the Mothership Core. He forces a warp in here in the back. Here's a awkward High Templar being hit by a bunch of SCVs.
So awkward.
Oh my god.
He like wishes he could feed back the orbital.
TY comes in here and drops a lot of damage. He's going to target the Nexus.
I think he's going to get it and get away with most of these units. Even the probes come off the fight. Goodbye, Nexus. Storm goes down way too late. And a lot of damage done here. The worker count for Creator goes down to 42 against a 54 worker supply Terran with Mule support on 3 bases, who has +3 attack nearly completed. So, he's missing a little bit of armor, yes, but he can start that actually pretty soon. He's also getting his 2nd starport up here to continue producing Vikings to help deal with those Colossi. Liking TY's position more and more in this game the longer it goes on, especially because it's now 3 base against 2.
Yeah, Creator was in a very good position for a while. He had much better tech for a while, but he was just sitting back. He was letting TY take advantage of him. He let him come into the base, drop him a bunch of times. He's doing his own counter drops here, but at first it seemed like they were doing better, but now it's just not as good as the drops TY has gotten, especially the one at the natural, sniping that Nexus. And, here's another drop with 1 Zealot, but it's not doing much there at the 3rd.
Well, I mean, the situation here is starting to look pretty dire for Creator. He's got a High Templar here. Looks like he wants to wait for the Storm rather than go for a feedback. Well, that's what it looked like. Now it just looks like he just doesn't care about that High Templar. Wants him to die.
Stays alive. Finally goes down. Gets 1 on Medevac.
This is starting to be a lot of damage. He unpowers both forges. And actually he's trying to get that Bay. He's not going to get it. But he just weakened it for later. And with the 2 forges unpowered, he's not getting 3-3. And +3 is done now for TY. And the attack upgrade is more important than the armor upgrade when it comes to sniping units like Colossi, sniping structures. So that's important to note. And it looks like he may even get this Forge. Speaking of sniping structures.
Yep, he's going to get it easily, especially with a bunch of those Marauders. He's going to be able to come out with no damage there, get a free Forge. Finally gets that powered again, but, you know, TY is just relentless right now. He's getting the rocks down here. He forces a Storm on one Marine.
Yep, and that Marauder is going to help out here. Targets down that High Templar. The rocks are gone, so he can come in there later. Dark Shrine here, a great choice for drop defense. I think that's what we're most likely going to see that used for. Again, forcing more units back into the main base. He's not able to capitalize on this, but he just keeps the Protoss army low and keeps it weak. He's always keeping it vulnerable. Still no use on that Forge. A few DTs, first of all, are going to come over here and try to do some harassment rather than going for drop defense. It can be used for both. The later the game goes on. There's no turret here, in fact. So let's see how quick TI notices this is happening. Starts turrets now. He starts to realize.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of energy on this orbital as well. He's going to scan one over here and get that down. But he's got to take care of this guy. He's gotten 6 kills so far. 7.
Yep.
And it's going to go down.
Well worth it, though. Forcing a scan as well costs him some mineral mining in the meantime. But Creator needs to be really concerned about this 4th base and the 14 Vikings that are out on the map, for example. That's plenty enough to deal with 4 Colossi. You can almost deal with any number of Colossi with that amount of Vikings. You know, if they have any more Colossi and you can deal with the 14 Vikings, then they probably have too many Colossi in their composition. Still missing the +2 attack, or rather the +2 armor. +3 armor hasn't been started for Creator, even though he has that Forge repowered. So, you know, it's just a matter of resources. There is the attack coming through.
Yeah, he's got it. 2i being very efficient here, even getting the vehicle upgrades here. Those Vikings going to do extra damage. You know, the double shot that they have, it's going to apply twice to their attack.
Yeah, which is really important because the armor, of course, applies twice, you know, for the Colossi that he's got a +3 armor for. Eliminating this Gas Geyser would be huge here. He's doing a big stem, rushes down this natural now. A storm goes down. My chair falls over. I fall out of my seat, and I don't know what happened there, Brendan. I think I fell in the hole. My chair just broke.
Oh my God, your wheel actually just
My wheel broke, man. I fell in a hole. There's a hole in the desk. Wow. We have a hole in our stage, man. It's the holy stage, man. It's not even Sunday on Pro League today. We got the holy stage.
I just tried to help you out by putting that wheel in, but it's impossible. I'm sorry.
Well, just hold me tight if I fall again.
I'll try.
Now, this situation gets worse and worse for Creator. He has an army that's, you know, it was more expensive. It was the stronger army with more AoE. But he's being countered now by all of this, you know. For example, the Vikings are there to directly counter the Colossi. The Ghost count is starting to get out of this world. Like, he has 11 Ghosts. That's actually just great at fighting Zealots straight up in a fight, yeah. EMPs aside.
And he's got a lot of Zealots in that mix. You guys see 17 there. It's going to be able to snipe so many of them and get so much damage here. Another drop in the main.
This Forge, man. I'm worried about it, and EMP is on all the Archons, and the Colossi are going down. This is a big problem. Does he not have Viking, or does he not have an Observer? I don't think he does.
But Storms are going down, and all of the Ghosts die. The 2, you know, Colossi stay alive for now, and it seems like there's only 3 Vikings here, but he is going to snipe the last of those Colossi.
Well, you know, it's hard to say who got the better end of this because of all the Ghosts dying. You know, the Colossi dying is pretty huge. That's really expensive, but the Ghosts are expensive as well. It's easier to replace a Terran Bioforce, though, than it is to produce expensive Protoss tech units, especially the Colossi. It takes so long at the robotics. You know, you don't have 4 robotics to produce Colossi out of it. As far as I can tell, Creator only has 1, so it takes him a long time to actually reproduce those. We'll shut down this drop. I feel like this puts Creator into a better position than he was before the fight, but it's still a pretty nice spot here for TY, who has that 4th base completely secured. He's getting that +2 armor very late, but he is getting it. And he needs to rebuild his Vikings as well as his Ghosts.
Yeah, he's starting to slowly get those up as well. Right now he's only at 2, but you could look at Creator. He's only got 1 Colossus right now, so he's going to be on that for a little bit here. Like you mentioned, Creator losing a lot of high-tech units. 2i also losing a lot of high-tech units, but it's going to take a while for Creator to just get a lot of those really, really expensive units back up for the Protoss army. So he's going to try to sit back here for a while, try to harass a bit with the DTs, with some Zealots. And TY is going to be the aggressor here for a little bit. I mean, he's already dropped in the main, tried to drop the 4th again. And we're going to see him come again towards that 4th.
Yeah, he's ready, you know, with this Bioforce to continue to harass, continue to be aggressive. That that little group of Protoss units wants to do the same. He's setting up a nice force of Widow Mines here, good spread. Going to be able to do damage. He's actually trying to bait a little bit here, it looks like. Widow Mines doing bonus damage to shields means they're pretty good against Archons. That factory is doing its job here to tank a little bit, and here come the Ghost. EMPs hit all of the High Templar, every single one of them, and a few of the Archons as well.
Yeah, he gets some, he gets a couple of storms down before that, but, the Ghosts are just going to be healed up here. Not going to take too much damage. He backs off. Very good idea here. Here, Creator comes with a little force of 1 Dark Templar and 2 Zealots coming towards the 4th, it looks like. Maybe in that same controlled group, accidentally.
Yeah, I think so. Gonna lose all of those. Forces a scan, but still not worth it. Probe goes down as well. I mean, there's just, there's so many Archons in this army. There's 7, 8 now. That's a lot of damage. It's all about the EMPs here. Creator can still certainly win a fight with that much AoE damage and all the tankiness of those Archons. They're so expensive. Somebody was talking about this on Reddit the other day, how we actually need a resources mine tab. Just see how much people have mined, because you can't actually tell from army supply where people are at. I'd like to see more often shown the army cost supply, just the army tab. We never see that in televised matches, and if I were in control, I'd be showing that a lot. Because that Protoss army, you look at supply, it's like, okay, he's down 20 supply, but that is an expensive army. It costs way more than that Terran army could. Now, here we go. Ghost over here alone to fight Stalkers. Not going to be the most ideal comp. He loses a few structures there. Doesn't get any EMPs off, but the Protoss upgrades are starting to get better and better here.
Yeah, starting to get +2 shields, about to finish as well. He puts down a pylon over here. Gonna possibly add another gateway to harassing there at the natural. Creator doing a decent job here with the Blink Stalkers. He's not doing much with his army right now, so this is something he can do. Just be out on the map and just try to do as much harass as possible. Cut down the army supply of TY as much as possible. Try to fight on your terms as well. He's going to warp in a bunch of Zealots over here, get to work on those rocks.
I saw a flicker for a second on the production tab with the Neosteel frame research, which is probably a mistake, but I wonder if he had considered getting the building armor upgrade instead at his eBay, because he clicked on his eBay for one reason or another. These Zealots will be easily cleaned up. Even cloaking the Ghost at the front, nice micro there. And he's just going to clean this up easy peasy. Ghosts have so many hit points, but more importantly, do bonus damage to light units like like Zealots, excuse me. And this Bioforce here, let's see, there's no Ghost to support. They're all over defending the Zealots. He needs EMPs, and he needs them right now. This base is being lifted here. Then here come those Ghosts. Where are the EMPs? The first one goes down. It's decent. Storm's going down here. He's starting to blanket that Protoss army, and here come the Vikings from the right side. So many of them.
So many of them doing so much damage. The Colossus goes down. The Storm was just, it was there, but it didn't do any damage. TY effectively pushes away the army of Creator again.
Ghosts are decent fighters. They really are, especially when you consider the EMP. A lot of people look at it saying, if you don't play Terran and you don't have the feel for the Ghost, you look at it and you think, well, it's a support unit. It's not actually good at fighting. Should he really have 14? But the reality of the matter is, when you blanket those EMPs on the Archons, they become, useless. And then you have the damage dealers to deal with those the very big tanks of the Protoss army, the Zealots, those somewhat beefy units that, if they are taken down by Ghosts, just fall so quickly. Here we go again. Vikings are ready. EMPs hitting the Archons left and right. Watch them just get erased off the map.
It's like you could barely even see it. I think he lost a couple of Archons there, maybe even 3, just to Ghost. You get the EMPs down and you just attack them. They don't have much health. That's all you need. Here is a Tempest. Creator's starting to go for these Tempests one by one.
I don't know how much I like this. He's not ahead enough to make this work. It's a good choice for the map, but he doesn't have control over the map. He's only got a few of them, and 1 or 2 Tempests against the Bioforce is not going to be too useful, especially when you have this many Vikings. I mean, goodbye, Tempest.
Especially when you just throw it away into a bunch of Vikings as well.
Now this base at the natural, I think, is under attack right now, but at the 4th base, the right side of the map, the 5th, whichever you want to call it, is actually under attack as well by this drop. Going to force a lift finally, but a lot of mine time lost here, a lot of probes taken out. This game is very back and forth. He may even have to scan here if he wants to save this drop. Looks like he's just going to let it go. Meanwhile, Scan's over here. They're just going to take the whole cake. He's going to take the Nexus out in just a few seconds.
Yeah, no defense here really for Creator. He warped in, a couple of Zealots, 1 Dark Templar really. I think he was just more focused on trying to get that base at the west up. up and running.
Yeah. So the medevac does escape for now, but he's just continuing to zone. He's actually sending these Vikings intentionally here, knowing that he may catch some Rally Tempest, which he does catch one, or also that Colossi that walk across the map are going to be vulnerable if they just kind of 1-A's them across the map. Scan goes down here, is going to eliminate that DT. We'll get the pylon, and then probably the Nexus here. There's just way too much DPS on these +3 Marauders. Counterattack happens here for Creator, but he's going to be attacking into a Planetary, which will buy a lot of time for TY to get the rest of his units home.
Yeah, and the Colossi right now are attacking the gas instead of the repairing SCVs. It's not doing much. He's being forced back even with not the whole army of TY here. I have to say Creator's just falling apart a little bit here.
Yeah, EMP hits like, I don't think there was a single unit that remains shielded after that. And now he's just going to target down with Vikings. Perfect position here. Way bigger army, so many cloak ghosts, not a single observer in the sky. And GGTY, spectacular fashion, takes game number 1. Not a bad game by both parties, but TY being the better man today. I'm falling in this hole in the stage. I'm getting really scared, man.
No, TY definitely showing the better late game play right there. He was just more solid. He looked less nervous. A guy who's had a bit more experience here. Definitely took that one. Definitely outplayed Creator in this game and definitely deserved that win.
Yeah, solid play here. Now, KT, of course, just needs... basically, now they've secured that they're not going to, no matter what, if they don't make it to the playoffs, at least they go through a tiebreaker. They're not getting knocked out anymore by Prime.
That's good for them. Creator, on the other hand, looks a little crushed, of course. Losing a game like that, it's hard to play against a guy like TY who's just consistently, constantly all over you all game long. And just take a loss like that, especially when you're the guy that your team has the most